What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we are going to be going ahead and showcasing the brand new Sugofest exclusive Sakazuki that I was able to get from the free multis. If you guys have not seen my video where I did my free multis, make sure you go check that out. It was absolutely insane to have pulled one of my most, it was literally the most sought after Sugofest exclusive that I was missing at this point. Now, I am still missing V3 Kuzan and the Super Type Sabo, so those are the only two characters that I'm missing that are Sugofest exclusive, but I digress. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this guy right here, and we're going to be using him in all of the GARP challenges, the 10-star difficulty GARP challenges, utilizing one team. This is a common theme that I've been building towards over the last week or so, utilizing one team to take on all of them. Now, this team, I don't think it's like the most optimal. Like, I think the Snake Man one is a lot better if you're running just like a mono strength team, but look, that's what we're gonna play with. You know, he's a strength character. We've got to build mono strength team to take on this all the 10-star difficulties. So the good thing about this team in particular is that, like, all of the support effects, I would say that they're not super duper required. I would say that it's really, really nice to have Rayleigh support on that Luffy. If you don't know what this Luffy is, by the way, it's the World Clash Rare Recruit Luffy. I know a lot of people don't have him, but essentially, if you don't have that Luffy, you're just running a character that gets rid of Bind and Despair by up to 4 turns would be nice. I mean, it doesn't have to be 4 turns, 2 turns is enough, but a character that gets rid of Bind and Despair, as well as, you know, gives your team some sort of boost in some way, shape, or form. And this Luffy definitely fits the bill. We are running the Moby Dick ship, which is kind of nice because even if we're despaired, we still have a relatively big HP pool, and that's the main reason why I wanted to do that. Coliseum NL is literally only good for the Whitebeard challenge, unfortunately, but he's like literally like the perfect character for that particular fight. Vivi and Rebecca are just phenomenal. Gin and Don Krieg are actually really, really useful in this fight, in these fights, I should say, that are coming up. If you guys want to skip to a specific one, there should be timestamps down below in the timeline of the video or in the description down below. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So getting into things, dude, I did not think waking up this morning that I would be making a video utilizing V3 Akanu. Let me tell you that. So yeah, it was extremely surprising to see that that was the case, that I was actually able to get this guy. Absolutely crazy. So of course, I want to make some videos relating to V3 Akanu for you guys, because he's just an immensely powerful unit, like literally on the levels of V3 Law. I still personally think V3 Law is slightly better, just because I feel like his damage reduction and healing for his kit is slightly better than what Akanu's able to do. I mean, look, Akanu's a really tanky character for sure, but again, as you guys just saw there, Despair can be a little bit of a problem. You lose a lot of health by doing that. He himself doesn't have any damage reduction effects, and I personally prefer damage reduction effects compared to health boost, but look, we're fighting over two characters that, in my opinion, are tier 0 on global, so I think they're both phenomenal characters in their own right. But anyways, speaking about this specific team, as you guys saw, we utilized the Luffy special to get rid of the Despair on the second stage, and then against Rebecca. Rebecca typically is like a really, really annoying boss fight, so that's why I really, really wanted to bring the Gin and Don Krieg character, because they remove like all the debuffs as well as giving us an orb boost for that stage. So like literally a perfect character, and just helps in general. This stage here, we actually spend like a significant portion of this particular clip in this stage, because, you know, after doing all of the special activations in the previous stage, we actually need to make sure that our specials are ready for when we need them moving forward. One thing to note, though, about that World Clash Luffy, like, yeah, I really like his special ability, but the problem is, he's on a 14-turn cooldown. He doesn't get any lower than that, so that's a really big problem. He doesn't actually have a limit break either, so his stats are, like, relatively mid compared to a lot of other regular rare recruits these days. So, yeah, you know, the Luffy, he is good, but I feel like all those World Clash characters deserve, like, some sort of buff, like a limit break, maybe even give them an expansion, make their cooldowns like literally get cut in half, and the characters would be broken as hell. But either way, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. We're using the Akanu special first, and then we're going to go ahead and use the Luffy special, because Akanu actually breaks through the barrier, which is really good. Now, this team really kind of struggles with the Dofi challenge. I'm not going to front. This team is not super optimal for the Doflamingo challenge, but it does get the job done. Now, the big problem with this team is the fact that you have to activate so many different boosts prior to the final boss stage. So moving into the final boss stage, the only damage boosting effect that we have is literally Vivi and Rebecca's color affinity. Luckily for us, Gin and Don Krieg is a strength striker character when they're in the Don Krieg form. So we'll have Vivi, Rebecca, and we'll also have Don Krieg, both being strength characters, getting color affinity. So essentially, if none of those characters get matching orbs, that can be a bit of a problem. Luckily, we can kind of manipulate it in the fact that we can kind of, use their switch ability to generate an orb, at least on the Gin and Don Krieg. And of course, with Akanu's amazing captain effect, he makes all those slots beneficial for our team. So Vivi Rebecca will literally not get a matching slot unless if it is a quick orb, because their switch ability changes strength and dex on themselves into matching. Every other orb will be beneficial except for quick. So there's a really high chance that we're going to have matching slots for when we need them, but there is still that slight chance that you might not get those matching slots, unless if someone treats quick as beneficial in this team, which I don't think they do. But either way, we're going to go ahead and, kill the mobs on the first turn. The second turn is when we're going to be doing a predominant burst here. And we're going to be killing Doflamingo over 2 turns. Of course, with only a 2x color affinity boost, that's nowhere near enough damage to kill Dofi in 1 turn. But of course, with Akanu's amazing boost, 4.5 with a matching slot, dude, that's crazy. We're going to have a pretty good amount of damage as long as we have those matching slots. But we'll pick things up once we talk about the Revolutionary Challenge. So this one's going to be a little bit different compared to the Doflamingo one. This is going to be much, much easier to deal with. Like, Doflamingo challenge just completely sucks, especially just having to deal with that stage with the 6 mob characters all having a million HP. That shit just sucks. But anyways, speaking of the Revolutionary Army, this one is, as I said, much, much easier to deal with. On the final stage, we're going to have, like, essentially all of our boosts active, and we're just going to be doing a lot of damage. If I remember correctly, I believe the final stage does not have a defense down immunity, and they do not have a full debuff immunity. I believe it's actually a delay immunity, so Akanu literally gets like 100% of his special active, so we just do so much damage on the final stage. We have an orb boost active from Don Krieg and Gin. We have the switch ability of Vivi and Rebecca for the 2.5 chain lock, so they're really, really good, right? The NL on the team, he doesn't actually do much against Doflamingo challenge and Revolutionary Army challenge, unfortunately, because there's just no real need to have him on the team. You could definitely, I guess technically you could use him to remove the paralysis on the Rebecca stage of the last challenge you guys would have seen, but we've got Don Krieg and Gin, which are just better for that specific stage. But the main reason why NL is here is for the Whitebeard challenge, and those of you who have played the Whitebeard challenge before know exactly what I'm talking about. Coliseum NL, Rare Recruit Baccarat, those two in particular, like the goats of those challenges. So anyways, we'll talk more about that once we get to it. This stage against the Robin, I actually did a run previous to this where I didn't use a single attack boosting special, and I just died. I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough damage to kill off the surrounding mob characters, unfortunately. Because remember, if Akanu doesn't get a matching orb, then it's going to be just a flat 4x boost, which is still fine, but unfortunately, it's not enough to kill the 4 mob characters that surround her. Because if you don't, you get spared. It's big problems. So I had to use a special there, and it didn't matter anyway because the amount of time that it takes to get to the final stage. We'll get our Akanu special back anyway. Not going to be a problem. This is going to be another really great benefit to utilizing Vivi and Rebecca because we can switch into Vivi, so we have type advantage against quick characters, which predominantly strength characters are not going to have any type advantage against, of course. This is where, like, Snake Man Luffy is really good because of the super type. We'll talk about the new Snake Man specifically, because super type can kind of mitigate some of that damage that you would typically face with type disadvantage, but in this case here, we have Vivi and Rebecca for a little bit of type advantage damage, which is really good. And then another thing as well that allows us to stall for a really long time, you guys would have seen against Dagama on the Doflamingo challenge, is the Don Krieg and Gin switch effect, allowing us to get 20% damage reduction every time we use their switch. So it's such a good unit, dude. I love Don Krieg and Gin. Honestly, one of the best rare recruits that we've seen of 2020 so far on the global side. So good. And then we've got this stage here with Bello, Betty, and Morley. And again, we encounter a barrier. If we encounter a barrier, we're just going to be using Akanu. Akanu just pops 3 turns of barriers. I don't know whose idea it was to apply that to his special. It's a very, very weird thing to have because, there's not too many situations where you see a character, like, removes barriers. There's not too many situations where it's actually, like, viable or useful to use. But we've seen here, the previously against Bartolomeo, and here against Morley, those barriers are really annoying. So just popping a special to remove it, as well as giving you a very, very significant boost, makes a big difference. This stage here with Karasu and Lindbergh, this one kind of sucked. I did a run previous to this where I actually did clear it, and I was just kind of, figuring things out. But the run that I did clear it with previously, you guys are not seeing, I actually cleared Lindbergh first. I got the special bind, and it did work, but it just took a little bit too long to clear the stage. So I was just seeing if I could actually clear Karasu in the first 2 turns, and if I was able to do that, then, Lindbergh just goes down very, very easily with our full strength team. So that's not going to be a problem. Final boss stage, we pop all our specials and we win. win. And ensure we don't hit too many perfects, otherwise the burn will kill us, of course. But of course, you know, if you are encountering that burn and you are having problems with it, try adding a really high chain locker to your team and then hit a couple of goods and then, you know, hit at least one perfect. That's going to be more than enough damage, depending on your team, of course, to basically just get through Sabo and Koala. So again, we'll pick things up once we talk about the Whitebeard challenge. And the final clip in this video is the Whitebeard challenge, which hands down is the easiest one to clear with this team. Everything I feel is just like purposefully set out for this team to clear it. The other two ones are a little finicky, I will admit, especially the Doflamingo one, extremely finicky to clear, but it does get the job done, I will say. But then you got this one right here where like this team just demolishes the Whitebeard challenge. It's super, super easy, especially if the Akanu you're using and the friend captain one both have the slotbind resistance completely maxed out, or at least resisting 5 turns of it. So when you reach the boss stage, you got those matching slots. Now, I kind of made an error in team composition for this team because the Don Krieg and Gin character actually have slotbind resistance. At least I'm pretty sure they do. I didn't double check, but after I like made the team, I'm pretty sure that he has slotbind resistance. I actually didn't double check, but I'm pretty sure he does. So technically speaking, you could put the Don Krieg and Gin where NL is. Like I would swap the position of those two. That would make a lot of sense. I would probably still keep the Vivi Rebecca at the bottom. That doesn't really make a big difference. That's fine. But all you really need is the chain lock. You've got matching orbs. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, right, because you got the matching orb from Don Krieg and Gin. Well, specifically Gin, you'll have a quick orb on Gin so that he has type advantage against Ace in the final stage. Because when you reach the final stage, if your captain is a strength character, which we are in this case, your strength characters get their color affinity removed, which means they're going to be doing neutral damage towards Whitebeard, which makes it even easier than what it already is, which is so good. And then another stage I was really scared about was the Ezo stage, but it didn't really actually pose that much of a threat. Even in this case here, we have Fossa on a 2-turn cooldown, and we still absolutely destroy this thing. Because we get to a point here where our health is at a pretty decent spot, where we can just go ahead and use the switchability of Don Krieg and Gin to, mitigate 20% of the damage that we would have taken from Fossa. And, we'll get 3 additional turns after he attacks, right? So we have plenty of stall to get some of our health back. And, all we have to do from here, like, literally after this stage with Fossa, the only damage we'll take is 1 more hit from Marco. So as long as we can tank that hit from Marco, and we move into the final boss stage, and I think the end of turn damage is not like a health cut, I believe it's like actual damage. So if we can tank that as well, then it's just GG. And that's why I do run the Moby Dick ship, because your health pool is so much higher. So as long as you are continuously healing, using the switch effect of Vivi Rebecca and hitting pinch healing when you're below 50% with Vivi and Rebecca, it does make a big difference. And I still think to this day that Vivi Rebecca is, I mean, if we're talking just purely as a sub, then yeah, T0 for sure. But unfortunately, the Vivi Rebecca's captain effect is really not that good. I mean, you can say what you want about Vivi Rebecca, but you're not persuading me. I think their captain ability is complete garbage. I do not care what you have to say about it. It's a garbage captain effect. And people say, oh, you could use it in Kizuna. Shut up. You're not using Vivi Rebecca in Kizuna. I mean, you can, but you're not. You're going to be using someone that has a much higher multiplier than that. I digress. V3 Akanu, proving once again that he is an absolute boss. And of course, I was really blessed to work with Bandai to produce the video for you guys where I was able to use this guy prior to his release. And yeah, ever since that point, I was like, dude, I really want to get my hands on this guy because he is just immense. He is so good. And he's even really good in Pirate Rumble, which I haven't had a chance to play around with him yet. The reset happens very soon as of me recording this video, so I'll probably try and figure something out to try and put him in a team somewhere because I know he's very good in Pirate Rumble. I'll have to go ahead and invest some of the scrolls into this guy, of course, but I know scrolls are very difficult to get. But anyways, that is going to wrap up this video today. I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of this clip where V3 Akanu is going to decimate the Whitebeard challenge. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video today. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Shiga!